Alright, in this video I'm going to show you the bending circuits patch that I made for the Matriarch. It's the patch that I used on the ambient track I just posted. The link for that track is up in the corner and also in the description. So right now, the settings are pretty much what you would see at the patch diagram at the beginning of the video. So if you want to follow along, you can just do that. I took all the cables out so we can build up the patch from scratch, and you can hear what's going on there and what I was thinking as I was doing it. So let's start. Just hear basically how it sounds with nothing patched. So it already sounds pretty good. We have a pulse wave on the first oscillator, triangle waves on the others. And most of what you're going to hear is just the first oscillator because it's going to be a sequence with one note coming through the whole time. So the main parts that I'm going to modulate are the frequency modulation here, cutoff 1, cutoff 2, and the envelope amount in. And how we're going to do that, I'll work backwards, is I'll start with the frequency modulation. It's going to come back into a mult, into the attenuator so I can control it, and come from the wave out of the modulation. So let's do that. Start with the wave out, go to the input of the attenuator, because that just helps you control how much of it's coming in. This is going to go into our mult, and the mult is going to be able to spit it out to the 3 frequency modulations. We'll see how that affects the sound. So you can kind of hear it has like a brashy, harsher tone. You can really hear the step filter coming out. All right, so that's the frequency modulation. The next part is we're going to come over here to modulate the filters, and we're going to come out of the sample and hold. And go into our LFO on this side. So this one's kind of neat because it comes out of one modulation into another modulation and then actually modulates everything. That's going to go into the attenuator. So we can control how much of it, which will go into a mult to split it out over 3 filter inputs. The cutoff 1, cutoff 2, and our amount. So that's really nice. It's also, I have the cutoff down enough so that some notes are almost silent. So as this patch is kind of playing through, it sounds really generative. It sounds kind of random because it's not going to be the same notes over and over again. Some will be silent and left out, or some will be really pronounced and accented. All right. And then the last bit for the patch is to sync it up with the arpeggiator. So here's the sequence that I played before. I'm going to move it down to B flat. It's nice, that little flutter you get sometimes. And right now it's going through without any reverb or anything extra. This is the only thing is you do have the delay, the analog delay that's coming from inside the matriarch, but there's no post-processing that's going on after. On the ambient track that I posted, I did use Valhalla Shimmer. Here are the settings. But just one more comment on the actual composition of it. I used a ton of res just to give the whole thing some space. Probably about 50% of the steps in the sequence were res. A couple of ratchets here and there, but mostly just the notes and the rest. And 90% of the notes that I was focusing on were around a sus4 chord, because those want to resolve but aren't quite there yet. So that's what I focused on. Lots of space and res. This is the patch. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe, and I will continue posting patches. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I would appreciate any feedback that you want to give about how I make this video or this patch. Thanks for listening.